What's up everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be another Q&A, just kind of picking the most popular questions or most asked questions on my recent one from Instagram. So we'll jump right into it and get on with the first question. How long does it take to develop a new skill? So this varies on the skill. I would say for me, typically, if it's a combination, like a new combination that I'm doing, that can usually be done within the day that I'm trying to actually get it, because that's how most of my reels are made and everything like that. However, if it's like a brand new skill, like say my standing full, cork, front lever, stuff like that, that is like something where it's gonna take me months, potentially years. Because I've been working my standing full probably for like the last year and a bit. I get it and then I lose it. And then I get it and then I lose it. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't realize is like when you're learning a new skill, it is so up and down, especially like flipping stuff. You'll understand it, like your brain will understand it, and then all of a sudden your brain will just like not understand it. So I think for flipping and dynamic things, I would say it could take anywhere between like, say 30 days to like a year. And then for strength stuff, I would say give that anywhere between 3 months to 6 months. I do think learning a handstand or learning like a muscle up and everything like that, depending on your starting level, can be as quick as like a 3-month process or anything like that. So it does vary on one, your background, but two, what type of skill you're learning and how much body awareness you need for that specific skill. Do I take supplements? I do take supplements. So my stack per se is relatively simple, I would consider. I have my essentials, which is my protein powder, my creatine, my glutamine, this is also how I count to 5. It's so weird, so sorry. You guys are witnessing this weirdness that I do. And then I also take, sometimes I'll take pre-workout, but if it is, it's non-stim. And then I also take a fat burner as well. Fat burner is strictly when I'm in prep. When I'm not in prep, that's not something that I take. Oh, and my greens, I can't forget about my greens. I have that every single morning. So that's like pretty much my sixth thing that I take. And everything that I take is through Transparent Labs. They've been sponsoring me for the past year and I'm going on my 2nd year with them. I absolutely love them as a brand in terms of how they treat me as an athlete, in addition to just like the actual products that they have. Recently they came out with a new Transparent Labs greens flavor, which is their pineapple coconut, which I freaking love. It makes my greens in the morning with my apple cider vinegar and lemon way more enjoyable to drink. And then their protein powder is like a staple. I have it all the time. I can have it with water and it doesn't taste gross and it's not clumpy or, you know, grainy or anything like that. It's nice and smooth. So that is my supplement company that I enjoy using their products. And then if you guys want to try them, it's also Little T Fitness as my discount code. Do I drink alcohol? I do not, although some people think when I hold my Celsius can that I'm drinking like a White Claw or something. I do not drink alcohol that much. One, fun fact, being Asian, I'm missing like the enzyme to digest it. So like I turn really red and my heartbeat beats like super fast. So I feel literally uncomfortable when I'm drinking. And it's also just like slightly, I'm allergic to it is what I call it, like in simple terms. So I tend to only drink maybe once or twice a year and that's it. I'm not someone to just like casually drink or someone who like craves to have like a glass of wine or a beer or anything like that. I much prefer just having either an energy drink or just like sparkling water or like a diet ginger ale. That's also a good one. Isn't it boring to post every day? I don't think so. I feel like I always look forward to what I'm about to post, and because I've been creating for such a long period of time, I do think it's fun to post every single day because now I have an entire, say like, probably not like 4 years of just an entire history of like where I started, how much I've grown and like where I'm at. And I think that's a really cool thing. It's almost like, well, it is a diary and like a way to just look at my progress. And I'm also always excited to post because I get to meet and create these friendships. Like when I do collab videos, it's super exciting. Or when I try to do challenge videos where I see someone like a new creator or someone who's just like done something insanely cool that I haven't seen before. And I just get to like now do their video and also like build a relationship with them because like oftentimes when you like tag people, do their challenges and everything like that, you often make like a friendship or at least connect with the person. And so in terms of like posting every single day, I think it just brings so much opportunity in terms of just like the connections you make, how you can challenge yourself. And then of course for me, it's also become my career. And so I would never consider what I do boring. If I did, I don't think I would do it. And so I have a lot of fun making content. Yes, it's a lot of work, but it's also very rewarding in so many different ways. Are you feeling good on track for stage ready goals? This one, I feel like this current week, my current mood, I don't feel like I'm on track. I feel like earlier this week, I was really struggling with my routine and I felt like I kind of had like a little anxiety panic moment where I was like, oh my gosh, like my routine is so poo. I look disgusting. I am so messy and sloppy. Like this is not gonna even compare to what my routine was last year. And I had like a little bit of, you know, panic. And then I had to like sit myself down and be like, okay, listen, you are 15 and 17 weeks out from your first show in Olympia. You have so much time. And I know in my head, I have this like unrealistic goal of like, you should be running it full out right now. Everything should be perfect. And I just feel like I had to take a step back, get out of my brain a little bit and just break it down into pieces. I reworked some of the choreography to make it feel a little bit smoother, a little bit more natural for my body to move through. And then in terms of actual progress with how I'm looking, and like, I try to remember that as much as I see all the other competitors on my Instagram and how, you know, shredded and like proportioned and how muscular they look versus how I see myself, I just have to remind myself that when I look at pictures of myself at this point last year, I looked completely different. I was way less shaped, I had way less muscle, and so this year, I just know that at the end of the day, as long as I look better than last year and I've made my own improvements, that's what I'm focused on. So in terms of progress of where I was last year to this year, I do think I am on track in the fact that I am looking better than I was last year. I actually see Jody later today, so she will give me an update, and that'll be like in a vlog, so that way you guys can see like her opinion and see what she's thinking too. Is there any muscle or exercise which you consider most difficult to maintain strong? My posterior chain in general, like my back and my hamstrings, I think I've always struggled with that, mainly because, and this was like in the Chris Cormier video, it's because it's a muscle group where like you don't see it when you're working out. So I feel like for me to be able to like feel a squeeze and understand it, it's just harder for me to get those muscle groups. Like for chest press, like as I'm pressing the dumbbells up, like I can feel like, and I can see my chest like pushing together and contracting. Same with like leg extensions or squats, like you have a mirror in front of you. But to do like a deadlift and try to like look at your hamstrings, like unless you're filming yourself, you don't really have that. So I do try to film myself as much as I can on my posterior day, so that way after the exercise I can go through and see like, am I actually flaring my lats? Am I actually engaging my glutes and like my hamstrings? But I do find it's one of the most difficult muscle groups for me to work and to have built up, as well as because of that reason, I also enjoy them a little bit less. So it's like a little bit of both right there. In all seriousness, have you thought of hopping on gear? Like obviously when you see the enhanced athletes and like the potential of where your body can go, you have that like, oh my gosh, like I wonder what I would look like. But at the same time, I am so really confident and happy being a natural athlete. I think it's one of the best things to be able to tell people and to share with people, because a lot of people think bodybuilding, like you have to be on enhancements, but to be able to be like, no, like I'm a bodybuilder, I made it to the Olympia stage, I did really well in my pro show, and I'm a natural athlete. Oops, I didn't mean to bang you guys, my bad. Being a natural athlete, I think that's something where it like opens other people's eyes to bodybuilding, knowing that there's a potential to do well in this sport and still maintain like being natural. I think it's important to a lot of people because long-term health-wise, it's just, for me, I want to stay natural, and that's my perspective on it. I do, and I always say this, like whether you're natural, whether you're enhanced, hard work is hard work. Every single person works hard, and every single person goes through the struggles of prep and like to get there at the end. Everyone deserves to be there, and the whole, is it cheating, is it unfair? Like no, like hard work is hard work. I think everyone puts in the time and the effort and the dedication, and that's just how it is. Me personally, I will never jump on gear. I'm also kind of scared of it, low key, but because yeah, I just am. Anyways, typical daily diet. So this was actually a reel that I did recently. So just like a rough overview, I have my morning breakfast, which is 1 egg, 3/4 cup of egg whites, as well as 25 grams of oats, and then 12 grams of peanut butter. How I make that varies. Sometimes it's a bowl of oats, sometimes like it's a makeshift wrap. And then I have 2 chicken meals, which is 90 grams of chicken and 100 grams of rice or 70 grams of rice. And then one of those chicken meals has a fats added to it, so 35 grams of avocado. The second chicken meal doesn't, so it's just vegetables. And then I have 2 protein shakes a day. I have one with my post-workout, which is higher in carb, has the protein scoop, 50 grams of fruit of my choice, 35 grams of oats. My second protein shake has the fruit, the protein, and then also the fats. So it has 15 grams of peanut butter and then 70 grams of fruit. And then my last meal is my higher fatty protein meal, which is my ground beef, which is 100 grams. And then it's gonna be 50 grams of rice and then any type of vegetables. So that's currently what I'm eating. What I do wanna make sure of is like when I posted this reel on Instagram, I had gone through some of the comments and some people were like, oh, I'm the same weight and height as you. Like how do you measure things? Like how can I eat this same thing kind of? And I do wanna like put out there that what I'm eating right now is specific to me, but also specific to competing. So if you're someone who's just trying to like build muscle, you know, be healthy, and you're my size and my height, it won't be the same thing, mainly because again, it's specific to competing, specific to me. And when I mean specific to me, I mean it's also like how much energy I'm expending. So I'm doing a lot of cardio and I'm doing a lot more weightlifting, and I have a lot of experience of working out beforehand, on top of it just being focused towards a cut. So in my maintenance phase, I am much higher. I'm more similar to like 2,500 calories. Imagine, I wish I could eat 25,000 calories, 2,500 calories. And so that is closer to my maintenance. But again, because I have more muscle mass, because I've been working out longer and stuff like that, it's gonna be different than someone who's also the same height and weight as me. So I just wanna like say that anything that you see online in terms of nutrition and things like that and like what I eat in a day, make sure that you realize like, yes, you can grab inspiration from it, but don't like copy paste it and expect to see the same results because every single person's body is 100% different. Favorite food? Honestly, anything at this point. I think I go through phases where I'm like, I want like a fat sandwich. Like I've been wanting a fat, like Italian sandwich for the past like 3 weeks. I haven't gotten it yet, so sad. Or I always crave a McFlurry, score flavored. And then my other one is like Korean barbecue, ramen, pho, burgers, fries. I really like anything. But that's also just like a little bit of like diet brain going on right now. But typically like, I just like all food.
We're gonna get murdered for saying pho.
Pho?
Pho.
Pho, sorry.
You're taking your Asian card right out of it.
Listen, you guys know I'm adopted. Like I don't know, my Asian card, I just look the part.
Are your parents white?
Yes, they're both white. My entire family's white and tall. My entire family's like 6 foot and I'm 5 foot. Like I'm like in family pictures, it's like everyone Taylor. Do you sometimes get tired? Oh, absolutely. I'm tired tired, wow. It's 10:55 and I'm literally having my energy drink right now. Lately, my go-to and like, oh, this is like, I don't know if it's like good for me, but a double shot of espresso every day, like that gets me going. Like I like turn into like a hyper-focused person. Like I don't talk, I just work and I have so much energy. Do I get a slight headache later? Yes, but I just make sure to hydrate. But yeah, I definitely do get tired. I go to Aroma, love Aroma. That's only in Canada though. There is another one that's right by my chiropractor called Lit Espresso Bar. So good. Are you dating currently or focusing on you or what's the deal? I think I put that one in because I just thought it was funny. What's the deal? No, I'm not currently dating anyone right now. And I feel like I've covered this a lot in my stories. With what I do and everything like that, I am so hyper-focused on one, my career, but two, like I'm also in like my bodybuilding era. And I feel like personally for me, I can't put the time and effort it is into like dating and everything like that. I do feel like when you talk to anyone about it, like dating is work. You have to literally, whether you're in a relationship or like going through the process of like dating someone, you have to put in the time of effort of like checking in on them and like, I know this sounds so caring about them, which sounds like it would be so easy, but you know what I mean? Like for me, because I've done so much stuff like on my own and I'm very focused here, in order to do that and make the time for that and be fair to the other person, I have to make sure that like I'm in the mindset to be willing to take the time to do that, which I'm not sure if I fully am. And also just like, I need to have like a reason to as well. Like the other person has to be so great in the fact that like, I'm like, oh yes, like I want to be able to do this time for them and also not make it feel like a chore. Because I feel like that's the case, then I just won't be a good partner. So for me right now, I definitely am focused on more of like myself. I call it like my selfish era. And I think that's okay. And I think a lot of people think, especially because one, I'm 28. And so not to be like, oh, I'm old, but I am approaching an age where a lot of people are like, oh, like when are you gonna get married or when are you gonna have kids? Or, and then, you know, they try to stress you out with this like biological clock. And I just don't really care too much. Like if it happens, it happens, and I'm very open to it. But at the same time, I just need to make sure that I'm also focused on myself and that I don't lose my own goals and stuff that I wanna do. So hopefully that answers that question. What is the best part of bodybuilding? I think the best part of bodybuilding is that you are literally working every single day to be the best version of yourself. And it's not only just like, obviously bodybuilding is very aesthetic, and it's not just about that. It's also like, a big part of it is like what goes on in here. And I think the small wins of every single day of being so dedicated to your routine and, you know, learning to say no and like feeling okay with it is just such a good mental growth moment that I think that's the best part of bodybuilding. Like the biggest thing that I took away last year was that I gained confidence in myself. I really figured out that I was disciplined and that I just found that all the challenges that I faced, the ups and downs, the emotions, everything like that, made me a better person. I do think that like bodybuilding is a great thing to go through. For me personally, because I was very self-conscious stepping on stage, so to be in like a bikini, that was like a really good growth moment for me. I'm not saying everyone has to obviously do bodybuilding, but if you do something where it like pushes you outside of your comfort zone to really test your ability to like stay focused on yourself, I think it's something great to do. So whether it's bodybuilding, photo shoots, like a fitness challenge, anything like that, I think it's all really, really great for your mental as well as your physical. Are you happy? What's the last thing to make you smile? I actually got asked this question the other day, if I was a happy person, and I would consider myself a pretty happy person. Like I would say like, obviously I have my sad moments and whatever, but overall I go through life very grateful and thankful for what I have, and I'm very blessed to have the life that I do. And I think the one thing that made me smile or smiles every single day is my dog. Like I literally wake up and Rocket's like on my bed, so freaking cute. And so Rocket is like my entire little ball of happiness and like a little animal. And my friends obviously make me smile, my parents, the community, like reading some of your guys' comments and DMs, like make me smile all the time on my phone. So I don't know, I think I smile like all the time, really. Except for my skill drill Saturdays, you guys always say I don't smile during those, but I am happy. What's your favorite type of music? I literally drove here in silence. Like I literally drove to Dal's house in silence, like a crazy person. But in terms of music, I really like anything. I do think I'm one of those like top 100 people, which people are like, ew, so lame. But I just like trending music. I listen to the radio and I have my favorite artists, which would be The Weeknd, Eminem, NF, Ed Sheeran. Oh, Giveon. Oh. I like Giveon. So as you can tell, I kind of like sad music and then like really hardcore like music. So I guess being a happy person, I still have those two emotions in music form. Not related to fitness, but any tips on forgetting someone? Ooh, okay. I feel like we all go through this, whether it's like a relationship, a romantic one or a friendship one. I don't think we need to forget about people. I think that's something that's like, not an immature thought, but I do think like every single thing that we go through is something that's gonna like teach us a lesson and like remind us of how we wanna be treated. So obviously if someone treated you badly and that made you feel type of way and you like obviously wanna forget that person because you're like, oh, like, screw you, you're so mean. But at the same time, like now you know your boundary, now you know what to communicate to people to not do to you in the future. And I think that's something that's super important. I do think in terms of like forgetting, everything is a part of life and even the things that hurt us are like meant to make us stronger. And so it sounds cheesy to say, but it's like in order to appreciate the good moments in life, you also have to you have to like live through the dark moments. And so if you forget about those bad times, you're just gonna make the same mistakes over and over again. So I don't think we need to forget about people. I think we just need to more think of it as like a learning lesson and a stepping stone of like where we want to get to in terms of like what we set as our boundaries and what we allow ourselves to be treated or allow ourselves to be treated. Does that make sense? Yeah, like, does like go at the end of that sentence? Anyways, you guys know what I mean. And if you don't, drop it in the comments and I'll try to answer it in typed words a little better. What's something you were looking forward to? Food. I'm looking forward to food. I'm looking forward to eating. I'm looking forward to this year's Olympia. I think this one will be not very different from last year, but I think going into it, I won't be so like, I feel like last year I was just like happy to be there. I was like, oh my God, like this is so cool, like I'm happy. I think this year I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna feel more confident and I'm gonna feel like I should be there. I feel like last year I was like, I'm never gonna be back here again. Like I'm so new, I'm so like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. But I do think what I'm excited for is to feel more confident in what I do in terms of how I am on stage and just like walking around the venue as well. But when I was there last year, like I didn't go to the microwave area or anything like that or really wander around too much just because I felt like no one would believe that I was an athlete there. They'd be like, oh, who's this person? Who's this spectator? Because she doesn't look like she's a bodybuilder. And I still get it sometimes when I tell people that I'm a pro or that I've been to Olympia, they kind of look at me in like disbelief, like how could you make it? Like you're so tiny. And so I think I'm excited for this year to kind of like go through all of those things and like stuff like that and just feel a little bit more confident. I'm also excited for just like post Olympia. I am gonna travel a little bit. I plan on going to Bali for the workshop with Nirvana. I also wanna go to Iceland with one of my friends and then probably go to like a little Mexico trip. So kind of enjoying actual vacation and not trips that center around competing or content or anything like that. So trying to enjoy a good balance of life this year is what I'm also looking forward to. What do you answer to people that tag your body as not feminine? Your goals to me. Well, thank you so much. I understand that to some people, having muscles is like quote unquote not feminine. I do think that as, you know, life has gone on and everything like that, I do think that like overall, like toned skinny arms, like no legs, stuff like that, I think that style of what people consider like feminine has decreased, and I think more people are into like strong women and like how strong women look, whether that's like in your legs or your upper body. I do think more muscular bodies are being accepted, and so I don't get that comment too often. I do think I get the comment of people saying don't get too big, and so I find that one almost funny because like what do you mean don't get too big? Like I'm a tiny frame, I'm a tiny person, how much bigger am I gonna get? And also I find it funny that people have the idea that they can say that kind of stuff to you, because you would never go up to someone on the street and be like, hey, don't get too big. Like that's so random. Like why would you do that? So little texting keyboard things, just like a reminder of like that they're not that important, and like that's that person's opinion of what is feminine. And I think what the most important thing is as you're going through your fitness journey and, you know, transformations, is that you always feel beautiful. And so for me, I always feel confident in my workout clothes. I love workout clothes. I will say when I go into like some stores that are more like lifestyle based, I do have to be conscientious of what styles of tops I choose, because some of them just really emphasize the traps, and like you just feel like you know, the Hulk. And so I just make sure to go through styles that I feel confident in, that I feel feminine in. And there's tons that have it. And like, I personally work with a stylist at Aritzia who helps me find what looks good with me. And so, you know, go with your friends, take pictures, see what you think when you take a picture, like, oh, like, do I look good? Do I look feminine? And as long as you feel that way, like, that's the most important thing, because someone's opinion on the internet who like you're never gonna see, like, who cares? They're losers, respectfully. Halfway through 2024, what's your highlights so far? What are you looking forward to? Oh, I can't believe we're already halfway through 2024. I feel like it's gone so fast. My YouTube is a highlight. We started 2024 at like 34K, and now we're like almost at 300K, which I think is so freaking cool. Like, I always thought my YouTube would never be a platform that grew, and I was kind of okay with that, and I accepted that. And so to see the growth and to see how well we're doing, like, obviously Del's behind the camera right now and she'll be editing the video, to see how well we work together and to see how much what we've created to make a successful YouTube channel is like one of the coolest things. I got the 100K plaque, which was a big achievement for me. And then overall, I think what I'm excited for is just the rest of 2024 to see how it pans out. Obviously, we have my bodybuilding stuff coming up, but then also just like other little goals in life as well. Like, we still want to continue to build out YouTube. We still want to continue to build out relationships with different brands and everything like that. I'm super excited to be working with, for the rest of 2024 and into 2025, Transparent Labs and VQ. Like, they're the two brands who supported me throughout my bodybuilding stuff. And so I think it's really cool that, you know, I get to work with brands that really care about me as an athlete, and that's really exciting to see what's gonna come along with those relationships. What would Taylor be doing if she wasn't bodybuilding? I'd be heavily into calisthenics. I think honestly, if I didn't do the bodybuilding route, I think I'd be trying to compete internationally in calisthenics. That still will come. It's just right now we're focused on bodybuilding. What I tell people is that bodybuilding is so time consuming that realistically, when I'm like in my late 30s and early 40s, I don't see myself wanting to do bodybuilding. I do want to take advantage of the fact that I'm 28 and I have a long potential career up until that point. And so I want to do that for as long as I can. And then after, I can do calisthenics, because calisthenics, yes, it's a lot of work and yes, it's a lot of time, but it's a very different style of training. And I feel like it's more doable to do when I'm older, when I have, say, like a family, when I have, you know, when I've taken more time off of doing other things, I'll just have a better time frame for calisthenics at that point in my life. And calisthenics is like forever, you know? So is bodybuilding, but doing flips realistically on a hard surface, I personally don't want to do that too late in my life, so I do think that's going to come to an end at some point. And then calisthenics I can do whenever. But if I also wasn't doing bodybuilding now, I would definitely be into calisthenics, and I think I'd jump on the train that everyone else is running into. Like, everyone on Instagram and TikTok are running. I think I'd honestly get pulled into that and be like, I'm gonna become a runner. I'd probably run a marathon by now. So thankfully I'm in bodybuilding, I don't have to do that because I hate running. But I think I would have jumped on that train because it's everywhere. What do you think your biggest key to success for growing Little T Fitness? I think it's honestly just that I post what I wanna post. And like, of course I get inspired by like comments of people saying, oh, I wanna see this, or can we see more of this? But I personally like love posting that kind of stuff because I'm like, oh, this is what people wanna see, and this is something that I can do and I can share and create information. And so I personally just think that being able to grow an account that you don't feel like is work is one of the most important things. And it's just like consistency over time. Like, I've posted every single day up until earlier this year, and then now I take Sundays off. And even sometimes still I'll post on an occasional Sunday, just because again, I like posting, I like creating videos, and everything that I do is corresponding to what I do in my life. So it's not like I'm like heavily into bodybuilding, but I'm like posting like as if I'm a calisthenic athlete still. Like, all my posts are still related to things that are going on in my life, which makes it a lot easier to be genuine and be transparent and just like bring you guys along the journey. I do think once you start to feel like you have to cater to a specific audience about something very like pinholed, that's when it gets a little bit more difficult. And overall, like, for content, it's just having fun with it and making sure that you're leaving people with something, if that makes sense. So you want to leave them with either information, because everyone always likes to learn. Leave them with like an emotion, whether it's like, oh, POV, it's like relatable, it's funny, or if it's like heartfelt, or, you know, they just get happy, they smile after the video, something like that. I think those are the main two things that I try to go for when it comes to content. If we're trying to get like more like analytical, I just watch my videos and go, okay, what did I gain from this? What do I think people are gonna feel from this video? Like, what did I feel from this video? And most of the time I'm like, yo, I did that, like that was so sick, and I'm excited to post it. So that's kind of where my success comes from. I'm genuinely excited about my content and I like making it, and it's fun to see, you know, the mic'd up content where I struggle a bit and everything. So I think it's just the challenge of it. And that's kind of like the key of what has made my account super fun to be a part of and to keep sharing and everything like that. So yeah, that's it for the Q&A. We ran through those questions pretty well. That was like 20 questions. There's a lot more questions, but those were like the top ones that I had picked. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And if you have more questions, you can drop them below and I'll also answer those. See you guys in the next one.